Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Mr. Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. He predicted not only the winner.
Of course I did.
Not only the winner, but the round again. It's all yours.
Well, listen, this is 2 weeks in a row. I'm killing on predictions. Bet with me and you'll win money. I need to start that as a website. Tank Davis is a pay-per-view star. They set records at the Barclays. Fight went a little different than I thought it would be. But once again, he's showing layers and layers. We saw him against Cruz, box with one hand. This time, he was on the back foot. He used his mobility and set him up. Made Rolly run into something. Great left hook. Didn't even hit with his full strength.
Right.
Knocked him out. You know, I thought it was going to be an LTU that took him out. Life-threatening uppercuts that Tank has that he almost killed Leo Santa Cruz with. But this time, he hit him with a tank whip. You know, set him up on the ropes. Tank Davis is the real deal. You know, people try to hate on him. All you can say about him is he's the best at 135. I know there's a big fight with Devin Haney and George Kambossos coming up. I don't think anybody beats Tank Davis. He's that good.
He sure is.
That good.
Smoking Jim?
Well, Luther, you've been having this cough for 2 months. Your Obamacare don't kick it. It isn't only doctors that do home visits. Can you go to the hospital with it? You know, I'm worried about you, my brother.
There's that shot right there. One hitter quitter. The tank wheel puts him down. Tank Davis is a beast.
But
do you think he could have got up first of all on that?
I thought he could have. I was me personally. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought he could have, but
Did you see his leg? He had that little.
yeah, but I thought
left leg
I
that
think
was
the
going
ref should
back
give him a
and
little
forth.
bit more time. I'm sorry, Jim.
well, for one, I was so proud of Rolly. He beat the heck out of
Get knocked
Tank,
out?
man. He beat him. The judges had him winning the first 5 rounds.
What did
He
you-
was winning the 6th round. Like you said, you've seen some improvement in Tank. I
said
rated
layers. That's great.
Yeah, layers. I had it a 10-8 round because he knocked Tank down in the 2nd round, and the referee not only saved Tank in
He
the 2nd
threw him
round,
down,
but
Jim.
he talked to both fighters for what he hit him with 5 shots. 2 of
an
them was
elbow.
worthy of a knockdown, but on my scorecards and on all 3 judges' scorecards, they had Rolly winning all the rounds. He did well. He got caught with a shot. You know, Tank ran the whole fight. Like you said, to me, he's regressing. I already said he's peaked. He's on the other side. But he hit him with a lucky shot.
Boxing authority.
Rolly got up. I mean, he speaks English. The referee said, "Come this way." He did. He
couldn't
come
move
that
his
way. He
left
did.
leg.
Come that way. He did. And then he shook it off.
He couldn't
Tank
move his
showed
left
no
leg.
class afterwards. He jumped up on the ring, which is okay.
He does
Then
that
he
every
he's
fight.
over to Rolly. I thought he was going to
Rolly.
show Rolly. I thought he was going to hug him, but he goes and gets in his face like that. Man, he's classless. But I tell you what. You know, I always thought he had a belt. All he got is a lightweight regular belt.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he that excited about it? And you're talking about nobody wants him. He can't beat none of the top lightweights, Lou.
Who can he beat? What are you talking
He
about?
can't beat Haney.
That would be a great fight, and I like Tank's chances against all these guys because you know what he has that all these other guys don't. He has one-punch knockout power.
And he's smart.
He's smart. He has everything you want. He has boxing kills. He has a chin. He has more power than anybody at 135. What are you saying that you're saying?
Well, the one thing,
a lot of guys he can't beat?
Rolly's seen what I've seen because he said in one of the interviews,
after he
I
got-
can't miss
after he
that
got
big
knocked
end. He's saying the same
Well, he
thing I
missed
said.
quite a bit.
Well,
And
he
he
was
was
winning
what-
all 5 rounds.
You know what though, about that,
Jim, he
Luther, and
lost.
I think
Come
you'll
on,
agree with
Jim.
me. I don't think that Davis was in trouble at all. I don't think he was
Thank
worried
you.
at all.
Thank you.
No, I don't think he was. I think he was confident. I think he was
Oh, I
setting.
thought you was talking
no,
about
no,
Rolly.
no.
Oh.
I think he was
Stay up,
setting.
Jim. Stay
I think
up
he was
with us,
setting
please.
him up. He did set him up. I mean, you talk about experience. You talk about boxing IQ. And again, I'm not ripping on MMA at all. But this is why they call it the
Are
sweet.
you guys proud that a guy with almost 30 fights is fighting a guy with like 12, 13 fights?
Well, That he was the guy.
Hold on,
He
hold
didn't
on.
make the ranking.
Lomachenko
That
fought-
didn't
Right,
win in
right,
the boxing
right,
until
right.
a few
Stop,
years
I don't want to hear
ago.
that.
Right.
Lomachenko fought in his second fight and lost to Salido, a journeyman for a belt.
We're
So
talking
what are you
about
talking
this.
about?
I'm talking about,
It doesn't
we're
matter. You
talking
said
about Tank.
14 fights,
I said, are
and
you
he had a
proud?
belt.
But
Are
Tank
you
didn't
What are
do
you
the
proud
talking
of
about?
rankings.
Tank?
Tank didn't do the rankings. He was next in line.
It was
But
ordered
having
by the
said that,
WBA, Jim.
having
So
said
he
that,
can
though,
set up a guy with 12 fights, and you think he's going
He
to be
had
able
a
to
he
set
had a
up Haney?
He had a minor belt, and he would fight Haney differently. Rolly,
He can fight him differently, that's right.
Next to Tank, Rolly is probably the most powerful hitter at 135. In terms of power, I have Tank number 1, Rolly and Ryan Garcia fighting for 2 and 3. So yes, you don't want to get in a firefighting contest with Rolly because you could get hit with
Or
something.
Ryan?
well,
No.
let me ask
He'll
you
fight
this.
Ryan completely different because Ryan Garcia doesn't like a guy to pressure him. If you would have
What's
done
the last two fights he ran?
if you would have done his some
Move.
research,
There's a
you would
difference
see it.
between moving and running. Do you agree?
He was 0 for 5 in rounds.
I
would've needed
but
a
I didn't think he
knockout.
was
He
worried
would've
at
needed
all.
a knockout
He knew
to
it was
win.
coming. I thought he fought a very intelligent fight.
But he knew the ref would stop it.
No, I think he knew he was going to catch him with a shot, which is
Exactly.
leads to my next.
Tank Davis has a history of starting off
There was
slow.
18
Well, but you know what,
seconds
though?
to go in the
You and I
round.
said before about Canella that he was starting off slow, but maybe he was just sizing
Right,
the guy.
like he
So
did
maybe
with
he's
Plant.
not sizing
Like he did with
I'm
Plant.
sorry. Maybe he's not starting slow. He's just
Sizing him up.
He's sizing
but
him up.
I think he even said that he wants to start warming up more in the
Yes,
locker room.
he did say
Tank
that.
did say that. And he started off slow, but he was figuring them out.
What's up
and
with all
Rolly's
them
not,
tattoos?
Oh, here
Little
you
much.
go. Did
his
you go to
lips
the
and
tattoo
his
battle, huh?
ears. and everything
Billboard,
else.
billboard.
Let me guys before I ask you, Al. Let me ask you. That's the inside joke. Okay, Luther. I threw myself off. Your thoughts on Rolly's performance?
Listen, Rolly impressed me more than I thought he would do. I thought Tank was going to punish him and then finally take him out in the 6th round. But Rolly showed he had a good jab.
He did.
You know, he kept Tank on the back foot, and every time Tank would come in, he would pull back just enough.
Just enough.
So he wouldn't
That's
get
right.
hit with that LTU, a life-threatening uppercut. So he showed layers, but he got to get a new trainer. That Bullet guy, he's taking Rolly as far as he could take him.
I like
Rolly needs to get another trainer.
I like that.
Rolly can be a force. You know,
Oh, no
we
doubt.
saw he has a chin, we saw he has power, but he has to get to the fundamentals. His
Borderline
footwork.
illiterate.
No, Luther said he went in
He
like
ain't
this,
listening
to
right?
nobody.
He went up square
And he ran
got
right into
stuck.
something.
That's
ain't.
why whenever we get mailbox or mailbag things, they always ask you about the training stuff because you do look for that. Your thoughts on Rolly's performance?
Well, he's borderline illiterate. Like I said, this guy ain't gonna listen to nobody, man. He got a conversation.
before?
He got conversations going on in his head the whole time, man. I wish he would quit talking, man. I don't know
He
what
sold
he's
that
saying.
fight. He sold that
did,
fight.
Luther.
But
400,000 buys, some
Yes,
people
sir.
were saying.
But listen, I thought he had a chance to win because, like I said, Tank has already peaked. His best days is behind him.
Really,
and,
I'm surprised you
What-
said.
how
I
is
think
he
he's
peak?
on the
This
climb.
guy-
How was
he-
he peaked?
Huh?
Jim? What makes you think
Was he
he's on his way
slower?
down?
Did his
Did
chin
he lose
weaken?
power?
Did he lose power?
What are you talking
let me
about,
see.
Jim?
All the judges, including me, had Rolly winning the
Okay,
first
do
5
you think Tank? I don't want to use the word allowed it, but do you think it was Rolly's performance that won the first 5 rounds, or Davis just sizing him up?
They were screaming when they wasn't fighting in the crowd. They were screaming and telling him they wanted him to do something. You know what I mean?
I think he was being smart.
He was
Exactly. He
opinion.
was waiting for his chance.
No,
he was setting
he
him
was-
up.
he was so happy to get the lucky
What you
punch
saw,
in.
you saw the influence of Floyd Mayweather on him. You know,
And what
let
you-
him,
right,
let him
right.
think, let him get confident. And once he
Right,
makes
right,
that mistake,
right.
bam, fight
But he
over.
fought a
And what
guy
you said was
basically
what?
two-
Talking about.
He
he
can
fought a
fight
guy
differently.
Exactly.
He fought a guy basically 2-3 years ago, wasn't even in boxing. So
Okay, which
I mean,
leads to
when
my
he-
next
when he
question.
fight-
Again, that's fake news, Jim. He started at 17. He's a quick
As an
learner.
amateur.
Well, which is my next question. You know, you and I think disagree a little bit on these things. I think experience is so important.
Thank you.
Do you think it played a role in this fight?
I mean, I said it would play a role in this fight. Experience and a better trainer would have helped Rolly in this fight. I think he can really get to the next level. Rolly, what he is now, he can beat some guys, but he can be a force with
What are
a
you
Derrick
marking off on the
James.
paper?
All the time,
That's just a habit.
all the time,
Okay.
destroyed you.
Yeah,
I'm adding
nervous
another X.
twitch.
I'm not Leo Santa Cruz, man. Every time I get another point against you, I'm marking an X. I'm already up
X's
10.
there, brother.
But no, Rolly can be a force, but he has to get the fundamentals. He has to improve his footwork and just do more than just power shots.
So he's raw.
He's
Still
very
has
We
the
raw.
ability.
outboxed Tank for 5 rounds.
Again,
6 rounds.
so you think it had nothing to do with Davis sizing him up?
No, Davis
It
was
was a
running.
setup.
How come
He
when
got hit
Canelo
with that
does
right,
it?
every time he got hit with that right hand, he was running.
How about when Canelo does it though?
What?
We used to say takes
when he
round
sets traps?
when he sets traps.
Was that not a
Was that
was
not
not
trying-
a set
But he
trap?
but he wins.
Thank you for proving my point.
He wins
So
the
did he.
round.
Did he?
Canelo.
Oh no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Against
What
Plant.
did he do against Bibble? What did he do against Bibble? He was
Even
in the
Plant,
shots
even
with his
Plant.
face.
He won the first 4 rounds.
Wait, how about against Plant?
The judges gave him the first 4
Yeah,
rounds.
yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't win
yeah,
those
yeah.
4 rounds. If you watched the fight
And
like
I-
we did,
and I gave
you
him
saw
the
he
first
lost.
4. I gave
How
him
about
the
when he
He
fought
lost the
Plant?
fight.
How about when he fought Plant? I'll give it to you. He
Plant
was,
ain't fought since, has he?
Plan is about to fight Anthony Burrell, which is going to be
He
announced.
must got Obamacare because Plant is in pain, bro.
but he set him up. And before I used to say he got the slow starts. Then I changed and said that Canelo is setting him up, and he did. I think Davis he didn't panic. His corner didn't panic. I think they were like George Foreman in his day. Well, Angelo Dundee, are you okay?
People betting on Tank was panicking
Oh, yeah.
in the
No,
casino.
they were
Not
right.
if you listen to me, because I told you the 6th round. Listen, Tank was so calm.
Did you also say he'd be down 0-5 going into
I
the
said
6th?
he would win by knockout in the 6th round.
did you think
you
he'd
did
be
not.
down
So let
0-5?
let me finish, Jim, because you've been wrong a whole lot on this show.
Mark it down.
Listen, in the corner, they had Tank talking to his trainer, said, no, he's still a little bit strong. I'm going to wait till the next
Yep.
round, then I take him out. Called his shot. He knew Rolly
professional.
Yes.
You heard
he
that
was
in the
setting
corner?
up.
He was-
There's
in all honesty,
there's
did you hear
something
that
called
in
a
the
mic in the
corner?
corner. Yes.
Did you
he
hear
said-
it? Did you hear it?
They had the mic.
They had the mic. Jim, if you would really study the film, have your glasses on your ear.
I can't read lips. I
Well,
can't
you know,
read
I
lips.
No,
write
they had
notes
it, Mike.
during a fight. I wrote down professional, calm, cool. He was accurate.
He
Which
was
against
even
Rolly, it's hard to be accurate.
Right. He was even in the crowd talking to Ryan Garcia, saying, "You're next." Before
Yeah.
he knocked him out,
Yeah.
he
He
turned
wasn't
around
worried about
and
it.
told Ryan Garcia, "You're next."
How many fighters have you seen down 5-0 if he was, in fact, down 5-0 doing that? He was confident, Jim. I really believe.
With 18 seconds to go in the 6th, he was down 6-0.
But you know
It's
what?
not how
He
you
set him
start,
up. He
it's
set
how
up the
you
trap.
finish.
Well,
And
no,
he came
was
in
as
like
surprised
this.
as anybody when he
Oh,
dropped
I don't
the guy
think so.
dropped.
He
hit
set him up.
He
He
hit
let
him,
him-
and he know what is he coming at me?
No, he set him up because every time he would go to ropes, then Rolly would get aggressive and lose what he was doing.
Right.
If you paid attention to the fight, Smoking Jim, he did the same thing in the 4th and the 5th. He would move and saw how Rolly was coming in. This time he ducked under. He knew he was coming with the right, caught him with the left. He ran right into it.
What I tell my
Perfect
hitters,
setup.
I tell my
Perfect.
hitters, I want you, my baseball players, I want you to kill the ball, crush it, but keep your mechanics in place, right? Don't do all that when you swing. Don't wind it up and no. Keep your mechanics in place.
I'm glad
Look
you
like Wilder.
clarified that. When you talk about hitters,
look like
we're talking about a
Wilder.
Tank Davis fight. People might get the wrong idea when you say hitters. So thank you for clarifying that, man.
I meant my baseball players, okay? Because when they swing too hard, they go for the fences.
Yeah.
Like Reggie Jackson in his day, he would twist and fall over. But when Reggie hit a home run, his mechanics were in place.
Right.
Rolly, when he would swing, his mechanic, like he was going in for a big shot against Tank, he went like this,
went wide, left himself
And
open.
Tank gave him a
You can't-
beautiful left. Just caught him, and his force, like Luther said, it wasn't a big punch. He didn't like wind up and hit him. Rolly going this way.
Rolly said he was going to run into something, and what did he do? Rolly's the one who ran into something, ran into that big
Right.
left.
Well, we
KO.
spending way too much time on this regular belt.
Yeah,
Listen, man,
on this
listen,
regular belt.
Again, you're one of the people who are ruining boxing. It's not about the belts, it's about the fighters.
Well, you said you was tired of the regular belt. Now you like it.
Listen, sometimes the fighter's bigger than the belt. Who's
Yes,
the most
yes,
exciting
yes.
fighter at 135? Who
You're
brings out
exactly
the A-list
right.
celebrities? Who's the only one on pay-per-view?
Do you remember
Tank Davis.
Do you remember years ago when the WBO belt? nobody cared about it. But as soon as Prince Nassim Hamed had it,
Yeah.
I don't believe the belt elevates the fighter. The fighter elevates the belt.
Exactly.
Let's just say, for example, and I'm not, again, what the hell's his name? Your boy has the WBA, the heavyweight guy, Trevor Bryan.
Trevor Bryan.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a regular one.
He's got the WBA regular. But let's just say Wilder or Fury had the WBA regular. It would give it credibility, in my opinion. Just like the IBF.
Fury would.
Okay,
Yeah.
but like the IBF belt years ago, who heard of the IBF before Larry Holmes had it? And so I'm with Luther. It's the fighter who makes
Fighter
it.
elevates these belts, Jim.
Right.
Come on, Jim.
Now, what's next for Tank?
Well, he said he wanted the winner of Haney versus Kambossos. Ryan Garcia is out there. I would like to see him and Ryan Garcia.
You just
get it
said
on.
he said Ryan was next.
He said-
now
he
you
looked-
say he want the winner, ain't he?
He said both. It all depends on who's going to step up to him.
Okay.
He's the money guy, Jim. He's the big
Without
fish.
having
Who's he
the big
gonna
belt.
resign? He's gonna resign with Floyd.
It doesn't matter where he goes.
He-
I'm not pocket watching like you do.
No, I'm just
Just
asking.
give us the big fights. I don't care if he's with Mayweather or he stays with
Right.
PC or he goes with singing Eddie Hearn. I don't care where he goes. Just give us the big fights. Ryan Garcia was in the crowd losing $20,000 to Earl Spence, talking a big game. He made a bet. He made a bet for Rolly, and Spence had money on Tank. He lost 20 grand just like that. But he said he was
And they
gonna
weren't
fight-
all ones either, but go ahead.
No. Ryan Garcia should be next. I don't know if Ryan Garcia is going to take it. He's scheduled for a fight in July. I don't know. He
I don't
calls
think-
himself the king.
Yeah.
King Ryan, I call him the pull-out king.
I think it'll be the winner of Kambossos Haney. Not less they have that rematch.
Well,
clause
Yeah,
right
they
away.
got a rematch.
That's what. It's going to be hard for him to get it. If they don't rematch, I think Lomachenko may get the win. So there's a lot of
There's
layers.
a lot of good fights
Wait a
there.
There's a lot of layers.
Lobo's at Rambo right
Lobo.
now. He's Rambo right now.
That's right, he's not-
You know,
yeah.
I got a lot of respect for him, unlike the Russian.
Listen, Jim. Yeah, he's probably out. He's probably sitting in his. We don't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
But
don't speculate.
We don't know what he's doing.
He's in
You're
uniform.
sitting there acting
He's
like
in
he's out there
uniform.
throwing missiles. We don't know what he's doing.
Well, Ted Williams
Jim,
was. He was a fighter
Jim,
pilot.
Just like
he was a
Usyk
fighter
came back,
pilot.
look for Lomo to come back and
No,
face maybe
I
the
don't
winner.
think he will.
Okay, we'll
because
see. He will.
No,
First of
yeah,
all, because
yeah.
he's up in age.
then,
he doesn't have
then-
much career
Then
left.
neither of them will have a country to go
Once
back
again,
to.
you'll be wrong, Jim.
Next for Tank, for you, what would you like to see? I'd like to see him fight the winner of Kambossos Haney.
Well, if I was Tank, like Lou said, he's a draw. If I was him,
The number one draw.
being that he's on the other side of his career, I'd go
Jim,
up to
he's in the
140 and then
prime.
147.
But he's gotta win the
I would-
belt first
I would
at
fight-
135.
No,
He
I
doesn't
would
have
fight
to.
these setups. He
I'd like
can't
to
beat
see him
them
do it.
dudes.
He doesn't have
Hey,
to.
he can't beat them guys. I'm telling you,
Wait a minute
man.
now,
Who
you
can-
want, you
I'm
want
just-
Canelo to do it, don't you want
Listen,
Tank to do it?
Tank is just like Canelo. Canelo can move around. Tank is at
I
that
reclaim-
level
I'd like to
too.
see him get
Can I
135.
Right now,
Can I
those belts
reclaim
at
my
135
time? Can I wasn't
135,
done.
those
He
belts
asked
got
me
up.
what I would do if I was Tank.
And I'm still
Tank's
waiting for
going to
an
make
answer.
money based on his name right now. Tank can't beat nobody for a title. If I was Tank, I would move up to 140, fight some setups. Move up to 147, fight some setups. Continue. Forget the belt. You ain't getting no belt. You can't beat none of those guys. You're on the other side of your career.
Jim, that's
Go ahead and make as much money as
That's
you can
complete
before you
nonsense.
get beat.
All of us on this stage are dumber for what you just said.
Didn't
Listen
you
to
say
film.
that Tank is the
no, but
pay-per-view king?
He is, but you're talking about he could only beat setups at 140 or 147.
Yeah,
no,
who's he going? He
he's
ain't
the
beat no
king.
champ. He
He's
making.
the king. What happens right now? Top rank
Can he beat
has all
Haney?
those belts.
Can he beat Haney?
Yes, he can.
Yeah, he can beat anybody.
He can beat
With that one fight, he's
Haney,
got
He can beat Kambossos.
Right.
He can beat Shakur. He can
he
beat
beat
Lomo.
Lopez?
He has a
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
he
yeah.
destroys Lopez.
Oh my goodness, he barely beat the Cruz. He barely
He had
beat
one
Cruz.
hand.
I think the thing
And
about-
we
And he ain't give
and
him
we
no
saw-
rematch
and we
either.
saw Pitbull Cruz is a monster at 135.
What, because he beat the overhill guy?
Listen, he's destroyed a lot of guys, and you saw Tank wasn't coming in either.
Yeah,
Cruz is
yeah,
a
yeah.
force.
He
Cruz
wasn't
is
coming
a
But
in
the
force.
thing
hard.
that Luther
And he
said
beat
at the
him with one
beginning
hand.
is that Tank can fight different fights, different
Yeah.
fighters, different styles. He's a
But
smart
nobody
guy who
has
can
that-
hit.
nobody has
He's
the
got it
power of
all.
both hands,
I don't
Jim.
understand. And honestly, I don't like.
He's T-Rex. What are you talking about? He got so many handicaps.
But it works.
And he beat a guy in Mario
Much young-
Bars
oh, okay.
who was 5 inches taller, had a 6-inch
He was in his
arm
prime then. He was in his
That was
prime
2 fights
then.
ago, Jim.
Yeah, he
Come
was
on.
in his prime
Jim,
then.
I'm done.
He's on
2
the other
fights ago.
side.
Get out
He's
of
not
here, Jim.
slower. He's not getting hit more. He's not, his footwork, I don't see where
Great
he's going on
footwork.
the other side. Al, what do you think? Anyway, all right, next for Romero. Next for Romero.
Hopefully he gets a new trainer. Bullet,
Still in the thick of things.
Yeah, he's still in the thick of things. Bullet is not the answer. I really hope he gets another trainer. But he can be a force. With that power, there's still a lot of guys he can fight. I'd like to see him and Pitbull Cruz. That would be a fire starter.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that fight. There's a lot of guys he could fight. Ryan Garcia. There's a sparring tape out there where Rolly really gave it to Ryan.
So Ryan ain't going to fight him then.
I don't know
He
about
ain't gonna
that.
do that.
But I got to show you guys that
Well,
tape.
first
There's
of
a
all,
lot of guys he can fight.
Claudio always say, I like guys who's good after the national anthem. You keep telling me about these guys that's good before the national anthem. I don't care about sparring.
Only
I don't
guy
care
he
about
lost
sparring.
to was Tank Davis,
Like
and you
I
had him
said,
up 5-0. So
Monty
what are you talking about?
Monty
Pick a side, Jim.
Monty Mason
Pick a side.
Clay would have destroyed Vaquan in a regular fight, but in
They
training, Vaquan ate him up.
They never fought. They never fought
Ate
in the
him
ring.
up.
They never
Who
fought
would've
as
won?
pro-
Who would've won
I have no
as pro?
idea because they
Who
never
do you
fought as
think
pros.
would've won?
I have no idea
think-
because they never
I
fought.
think
You
Monty.
said we give answers on this show.
Listen, and it all depends. Is this pre-Vaquan Kimbrough's balance issues? Is this pre-Marty Clay shoulder issues?
good
We don't
Prime,
know.
prime.
It depends. Prime for prime. I might say Marty. I might say Vaquan Kimbrough.
Oh,
They're
my
both
goodness.
great.
Well, you are the Dr. Spin.
I don't
so,
know.
yeah.
Prime for prime. I think Marty's prime was a little longer than Vaquan's.
Yeah, Marty would have beat the heck out of him. But in sparring, Vaquan killed him. So I don't want to hear about sparring, man. Give me somebody after
When it was
the
more
national anthem.
structured, when it was more structured during
Well, when
sparring,
that
that's when you got-
adrenaline, when that adrenaline was on the line, it's like Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert used to get pushed all around the practice field, but on game day,
Yeah,
he
good
could
point.
lift a
Some
car
people are
off
game
of
day
a,
players,
He
right.
could lift
Some
a
days-
car off of a pregnant lady on game day. That's how strong he was. But during the week, he was sitting on his helmet, smoking cigarettes.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about this week's big fight between George Kambossos and Devin Haney when we come back to the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the boxing authorities. Big fight this weekend. Couple big fights we're going to talk about. George Kambossos, 20-10, the WBA, WBO, IBF ring lightweight champion versus Devin Haney, the WBC champ, 27-0-15 knockouts. They're fighting for the unified title championship in Australia. Mr. Dupree, it's all yours.
Worried about this fight. I mean, all the advantages are with George Kambossos. If the fight is in Australia, they wouldn't let his dad in until today. We're taping Friday. They finally gave him access.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
Breaking, okay.
Yeah, but by the time he gets there, it's a 17-hour flight. He might get there right on Sunday when the fight starts. So I wish he would have got over there. The judges, the referees. All that being said, Haney is levels above Kambossos. If he's right, he has his headspace on. I think he can dominate George Kambossos, and he's going to have to because I don't think he's going to get a victory. If Manny Pacquiao, the legend, was robbed against Jeff Horn, they can do the same to Devin Haney. I think he's going to style on George Kambossos, and I predict possibly a late-round knockout in an 11th round.
For Haney.
I think Devin Haney can do it.
All right. Jim?
George is more professional. I love seeing
Not
fighters.
calling somebody a rat.
I love seeing fighters wearing a suit. Maybe Haney's dad will bring a suit for him. He can dish some of those warm-up suits. You know, let's be a little bit professional.
Jim,
I tell you
you're
what,
the
I
most
think
unprofessional.
I think the advantage, if Kambossos has an advantage, it's because
Judges.
he went 250 rounds in the past with Pacquiao. He learned a lot by training with Pacquiao. Don't forget, Pacquiao was one of those that'll go into your own country, go in your backyard and fight you. So he learned a lot. This is a guy, man, neither of these fighters got a lot of power. they got enough power to get your attention. You're talking about a knockout, but there's a lot of people went the distance with Haney. But I tell you what, this would be a huge upset if Haney wins. I think that I think that
It would be. You know who's the favorite in this, Jim?
I'm talking about my opinion.
No,
My
you said it would
opinion.
be a huge upset.
In my opinion.
The underdog is George Kambossos.
That's my opinion.
Okay, well,
In my
say that
opinion.
clearly then. Say
In my
in
opinion,
your
in my opinion,
that's been
if
wrong
Devin
numerous
Haney-
times.
For me.
For you.
Yeah, because see, Vegas doesn't set who's better. They set the betting. They want equal
They said
number
odds.
of bets.
So there's a favorite
on
and
each
an
side.
underdog. That means the
But
favorite
not
is
based
favorite.
not
Jim.
based on who that he thinks going to win. It's the betting public. So I think that
Jim's
a
logic.
champion, and I've heard this before, a champion gets 25% better when they become a champion. This is for all the belts, a unification belt. The last time that happened in this division was when Sweet Pea Whitaker, who's no longer alive, had that. So whoever wins this fight is be the unified champion, and I would be shocked. I'd be happy, but I'd be shocked if Haney won the fight. That's
What
how
about
good
the
Kambossos
phrase
is
when they
right
say
now.
you have to beat the champion, and especially in his hometown? I mean, like you said, Haney's going to have to do more than maybe in regular circumstances.
Do you think it's a chance now that Haney's dad is going over there? The dads like to throw the towel in.
I don't
You
know.
think his dad will
I don't
throw
know
it
if
in?
he'll do
Is
that.
he that
There'll be
tight?
no-
I don't know if
Is
he'll
he
do
that
that.
There'll
tight?
be no towel
think so.
thrown
No,
in
I'm just
in this
saying, we
fight.
seen a couple
think so.
dads do that
But the one
now.
thing, neither
Kenny
one is
Porter.
a huge puncher. You said late round
Fox's
knockout.
dad too,
What-
when he fought Morrell. Fox's dad.
What's your? That's right. What's
had
your
to save
prediction
his
for the
life.
fight?
My prediction for the fight, I'm going to go with Haney.
You spent 5 minutes saying George
No,
Kambossos.
he's
You're all
he's-
over the place.
No, he's a
Jim.
great talent.
Decision
But I
knockout?
would be shocked if Haney won.
All right,
That's
decision
how
knockout.
Good, that's how good.
My boy, he
Kambossos
gives
is.
rounds.
Yeah.
What do you
Jim,
got?
Jim likes to play the fence. I'm gonna start not smoking. Politician Jim.
I don't think
Right.
it'll be a knockout. I think it'll
So it'll
be
be
a
a decision. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go with. I am going to go with Kambossos. I've been going back and forth. I'm going to go with Kambossos on this. He's tough. He showed me a lot against Lopez. I'm going to go with him in a decision.
More professional too.
Well, I just
Jim,
think there's a lot of
listen,
things in his favor over there.
call
But,
the
and
guy-
I'm not ripping on him. He's a good fighter. He's tough. And he's a professional. By that, I mean he's serious. He's not some clown. I think he really wants this. This is important to him. He's been training. He's in shape. He's ready to go. It's in his hometown. 40,000-seat arena, I believe it is. If he goes like this, the people are going to go crazy, which does influence the judges. Am I right?
You're absolutely
And
right.
I'm going to go with Kambossos in a decision.
Listen, he has. If this fight was in America,
Different ball.
he would be a major, big time favorite, probably a
Here we
minus
go.
8.
What is the
Butts.
numbers for Haney being a favorite right now?
I mean, it's still
2-1?
relatively close. I think it's 2-1. Haney, it's not way out of bounds.
So if it was here,
If it here,
3-4-1.
yeah.
Don't lose too much.
Listen, George Kambossos has every advantage in this fight. You know, Australia, you're getting the bulk of the money. You had your whole training team, the entire camp. Meanwhile, the lead trainer, Bill Haney, which is Devin Haney's father, is just coming a day before the fight.
Let me
He
ask you
should
guys
win.
something real quick, please. Forgive me for not asking sooner. What does Kambossos have to do to win? What does Haney have to do to win? Luther.
I think Kambossos has to try to steal some rounds at the end, be very active, and throw a lot of punches because he's going to get the crowd. Anything he
Exactly.
throws,
Exactly.
he hits the gloves, the crowd will be cheering, and he has to avoid getting knocked down. You know, we saw against
Don't get
Teofimo
sloppy.
Lopez. Teofimo Lopez,
Right.
he got knocked down. I think Haney's going to, people talk about his man strength, everything coming in. I think he's going to be going for it. He's worked his whole life for this. This is the biggest fight of his career. We're going to see that. We're going
20-something
to.
years
Hey, well, that's his whole life. I don't know whether you're 20-something or 10. It's still his whole
And what's
life.
Haney have to do to win?
Haney has to be the best ever. He has to get his Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo on, dominate round 1 through 11, because that's when it's going to end. Be active, go to the body, catch George Kambossos coming in.
Yeah.
George Kambossos has the shorter arms and he likes to leap in, a la Pacquiao. Catch him coming in, we could see a highlight knockout. Devin Haney has to sit on his punches this time.
I agree with Luther. I think Kambossos has to be aggressive. As far as stealing rounds, You can do it, but if I were him, again, because of the crowd, go after him, be aggressive, you're in shape, throw a lot of punches, make it look good for the eyes, okay? Don't worry about the ring gentlemanship so much, be active, be aggressive. Haney, I think, now you say what Floyd did with Canelo. I think he has to be throw more punches than Floyd did against Canelo. I think he has to be aggressive. He has to be at his best and damn near, I hate to bring it up all the time, like Buster did to Tyson, just really dominate the rounds to impress the judges.
How about Kambossos?
Kambossos, as I said, stealing rounds to me is, and I don't necessarily agree with this. So Sugar Ray did that with, Sugar Ray stole rounds against Hagler. He did, but Sugar Ray did some things. He didn't just stand there and then the last 10 seconds fight. I think that was a myth. Sugar Ray fought. But I think Kambossos has to be aggressive from the beginning. Just throw a lot of punches. Be active. Be busy. This way, the judges can hang their hat on it. Why did you give Kambossos the decision? He was active from the beginning. He didn't look for spots. He created spots. He didn't look for holes. He created holes. He was aggressive.
Well, I think if this was a soup cooling contest, because he got them soup coolers, him and Steve Harvey. But hey, listen, I think we're going to turn the clock back in Australia back to 1980. I think it's when Roberto Duran beat the heck out of Sugar Ray Leonard. I can really see Kambossos, who's been you guys if not don't value the sparring 250 rounds with Pacquiao. This guy learned a lot, and I tell you what, I think that Haney is going to get in there and not be able to do the things that he always thought he could do, just like Sugar Ray could not do anything but what Duran allowed him to do. The things that Duran allowed him to do. Well, maybe Haney, you'll be saying that Haney fought the wrong fight too.
If he fought the wrong fight, then he's going to lose. I don't believe that. I think he has the perfect game plan for Kambossos. If he uses that game plan, I think he could be successful and maybe get a late round stoppage.
Late round stoppage, decision, Haney.
But he ain't knocked nobody out.
Right, he's not. They're not big punches.
He has more knockouts than Kambossos.
Well,
he does.
Well, he's got more fights though too.
Yeah,
he's got more fights.
Percentage-wise, it's right there.
50%. Kambossos has a 50% knockout.
And 10 knockouts, and he hasn't fought the greatest competition. His last 4 victories were all by split decision.
Right.
So he could have easily lost to Mickey Bay, who used to train Devin Haney. He could have easily lost to Lee Selby, if you remember that fight. So he's been, struggling with.
How many of those was in Argentina?
It's Australia,
0.
first of all. None of them was on
None of them were in Argentina.
Come on,
Answer his
it's a
question.
different age.
Answer his question.
0, Jim.
Argentina. All right. This fight, another fight on June 4th, which is in Argentina. No, it's not in Argentina. Stephen Fulton Jr., 20-0 and 8 knockouts, the WBC WBO featherweight champion and Luther's boy from day one, against former champion and very tough fighter Daniel Roman, who's 29-3-1 with 10 knockouts. Luther, again, we say it all the time, that you liked him from day one.
Yes, Jim. We covered him in the amateurs, Golden Gloves, Philly versus Pittsburgh. Philly would come in and challenge our guys in Pittsburgh, and they would put on a show. And he was one of the guys that did it. Him and Jerron Boots Enos, they stand out above, a lot. And cool boy
Did you
Steph,
burn the film? Because I don't see the film. Why'd you bring
Listen,
some of the film?
You should have saw the film when we covered him as an amateur. Listen, this guy has speed. We saw him fight a number of different styles. The last time he fought Figueroa, he was in his chest, toe-to-toe. This guy can box. The only thing, he doesn't have a lot of power, but he's a classic boxer. I think he can box Daniel Ramon's head off. I look for another 12-round decision, and he's just collecting belts. 122, he can move up to 126.
Yeah, just got to put on 2 pounds and move up to that.
Yeah, it's 4 pounds, 126. It's 4 pounds, Jim. We know you're not a math major. But listen, I think he's the real deal at this. I think he could be the undisputed champ at 122. Very exciting fighter. I don't think he gets enough credit. I do have him on my pound-for-pound list because he can do a number of styles, speed. He's a classic boxer, and he goes toe-to-toe. A lot of chin, a lot of heart.
Mr. Frazier.
He didn't mark that off on his paper this time.
I only mark it off when I knock you out.
I'm worried about this fight because Roman is a fighter that gets strong. He's experienced, and he gets stronger as the rounds go. So hopefully, Fulton won't shoot his load. I tell you what, I'm very worried about this fight, but I'm giving the
You're
edge.
worried about a lot of fights.
I'm giving the edge to Fulton Jr.
Okay. So, and me too. I think it's going to be 12 rounds. I think Fulton is going to really ramp it up against a tough fighter, and he's going to have to turn it up against him because I think this is going to be his toughest opponent. And I have Fulton as well. I think Roman's going to. I think he still has something left.
Decision?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, a fighter that I've liked from day one is David Morrell, 6-0, 5 KOs, the WBA middle super champion versus Calvin Anderson, who's 15-1, 1 and 11 knockouts. Is this a good step? I think all three of us are going to say that Morrell's going to win, so we can go past that. But do you think this is a good fight in his career right now?
Yeah, I think David Morrell, as we all have said, he is special. At 168, he's ready for all the guys. He wants all the smoke. He's the only one at 168 calling out David Benavidez other than Boo Boo.
Only one.
Garbage mouth.
Listen, Jim, this is boxing. We don't want them giving political speeches. I want the trash talk, and the other time you used to like it. But I think this is a great step-up fight. Calvin Anderson does have some pop. He has a good record, 15-1-1, 11 KOs, but he's going out against David Morrell. This guy has everything you need: power, speed, mobility, great defense. We don't know about his jaw because he's never been hit yet.
Yeah, right.
But he's the real deal. He said, David Benavidez, I will beat you like Bud Crawford beat your brother, Jose. I mean, this guy talks it and
What
he backs
round?
it up.
What do you got?
See, I haven't seen a lot of Calvin Anderson, but I've never seen anybody go more than 6 rounds against David Morrell. This guy seems like he's a little better. I say Morrell stops him in 7 rounds.
Okay.
David Morrell's the real deal.
I'm with you. I think he's got a lot of skill. Although Jim, and I know he doesn't agree with me. Whenever I see a guy 6-0, 15-0,
Look at his amateur record.
I still want to see those guys in the 20s. Again, when Boomo Mancini fought Alexis Arguello, I think Ray was something like maybe 20-0 or something like that. Maybe less than that. Maybe less. Maybe with more experience. 'Cause he was doing well in the fight, and then Alexis set him up. Alexis waited, then he unloaded. Maybe if Ray had more experience, or even us when we first started different shows, I think we can honestly say that our 10th, 15th, 20th, 30th, 80th, 100th show is better than the first.
Good point.
Okay, I just think that when I see those records like that, I don't want to put all my chips on that number. Although on this fight, I have Morrell with about an 8th round knockout, but my point is, I would not be calling out Benavidez just yet. Calm down a little bit.
Well, he can beat Benavidez, but I don't like the garbage mouth. He says, I'll make Benavidez my B, and I don't like that. That's garbage mouth.
Reverend Jim.
Let's
Now,
clean that-
Reverend Jim.
Doctor.
Reverend Jim.
Let's clean
Reverend
that up.
Doctor.
But I tell you what, Calvin Hot Sauce Henderson. And I tell you what, Lou, why all your people put hot sauce on everything? He hot sauce. But hey, the one thing about Calvin is he leaves himself wide open. And
Yeah.
I think Morrell will stop him early. Maybe 5th, 6th round.
Ooh.
Yeah, he'll put him
He's
out.
getting specific. Cut him a
Finally,
break.
finally.
He's getting specific.
Finally got one.
Calvin Hot Sauce Henderson.
I'm with you. He does leave himself open. Morrell's quick.
Why does he
Okay.
call himself Hot Sauce?
Maybe he's trying to get an endorsement, right? And if he wins this, he just might. All right. Well, like I said, I think it's a. Do you think he's calling? Okay, he's going to win the fight.
Garbage mouth.
But I still don't think. Now, if you get the opportunity to make all kind of money, yeah, you do it. But
Claudio,
Luther, I
listen,
just don't think he's ready for
You
Benavidez.
guys like to marinate fights.
No, it's being smart.
No. When the fight
Was
is there, you
Rolling
make
smart
it.
to fight Tank?
Yes, that was his biggest payday, and his name got bigger. Everybody
Getting
knows
knocked
Rolly.
out.
What if he fought another guy? Nobody be talking about him. Yes, he
Experience.
got knocked out, but Jim said he won 5 rounds. So
The
his
judges.
name is bigger now. That was a good fight for him. He sees where he has to make improvement. Maybe now he'll get a trainer and really step up to the next
Do you
level.
think Morrell has a chance to be a major pay-per-view star?
I believe skill-wise, yes.
Looks, the whole 9 yards.
Skill-wise, yes. He's talking the trash.
Wait
He's
a
calling
little
out the
bit.
big names.
Grow,
Why?
grow.
Why? Listen, Canelo's holding all those belts at 168 hostage. You got to take these fights. He has the other WBA belt. So Benavidez needs a belt. Make the fight happen. The winner is in line for a Canelo fight.
I just worry some of these guys, Jim, just are looking at the big payday and they're not doing
This is
long-term
pri-
greedy.
Is this
You know what
prize
I'm trying to
fighting? Is this prize fighting?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
get it
yeah.
while you can. Because guess what? Waiting, because we should have had Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder years ago.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
But that's a little bit different.
Yeah, no,
That's a bit different. This guy's a 6-0, 5-0.
I'm saying marinating fight when the fight is there. They're both fight with PBC.
Do you agree,
Morrell
though,
and
experience, when
Benavidez.
you get hit, Muhammad,
I
all
want
those
the
guys,
fight.
they knew how to deal with it. Can Morrell, we
I
don't know.
want the fight. I want the fight up once he's
As a
named.
fan,
These
as a fan.
Listen.
Did you know
we want the
Haney
big
was a
fights.
Muslim?
Yes, he's a
I didn't
Muslim.
know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah,
Why'd
they
you tell
converted.
me? I had to find that out.
Okay, does that have to do with anything, David Morrell? He's not a Muslim as far as I know. But I want these big fights.
Devin X.
That's what
As
grows
a
the
fan.
sport. No, that's
How-
what,
if
that's
you-
what
if you
grows
were
the sport.
managing
What's going to grow
Morrell?
the sport more? Morrell, Benavidez,
But we're not worried
or
about
Morrell
growing
fighting
the sport.
that?
If I'm his manager, I don't give a damn about the sport. I worry about my guy.
But we're here to talk
Am I
about
right?
boxing authorities. We're talking about the health of the sport. What's
Okay.
good for the sport? Good for the sport is David Morrell versus David Benavidez. That could be fight of the year.
If you were his manager, before we get to the mailbag, would you do that?
Morrell?
Yeah, against
Oh, yeah, he
Benavidez.
beat Benavidez. every day.
I don't think he would. That's what I'm saying.
It's a great fight.
But
He-
usually
he-
I agree
he-
with you, Claudio, but I know Morrell could beat
But
Benavidez.
see, that's what I'm
It'd be a good
saying.
fight.
Fighters, no
I think it'd be
fighter.
a great fight.
And you
because-
love
Slower
Benavidez
beat-
now.
I love
Slower
Benavidez,
Benavidez.
but Morrell is a special type of fighter. We've seen him move.
You know,
He
Lou
can
talk off both sides
No,
of his mouth.
I'm going with. I think Benavidez will get him because of experience. He's a former champion.
What?
That's what
But
I'm
I think
saying.
it would be a great fight.
You
And
just
he
said
can
Morrell.
hit. Morrell hasn't been hit yet. How do I deal with it?
But we
got-
also know that he can move around.
All right.
David Morrell has mobility.
All right, well, our popular segment, boxingmailbag@yahoo.com. Continue to send them at that email. Send them to my show. You are a part of the show, trust me. And sometimes your emails, when they come to me, they go to spam. But we'll get to them. Okay, this is for Al. All three. Anyway, all three. Carmen, New York City. Best boxer turned promoter. Oscar, who's worth over 250. Roy Jones, I'm surprised, 200 million. Ricky Hatton, 150, or Floyd, 350. Who's the best boxing promoter right now? Oscar, Roy, Hatton, or Floyd? Jim.
I would say it can't be Roy because he owes me money. I'll say Oscar.
He's got 200 million. He
I'll
owes
say
you
Oscar
money.
De La Hoya.
Listen, Oscar lost Canelo. He's on the verge of losing Ryan Garcia. He's about to come back because he can't keep any of his fighters. I would have said Oscar a couple years ago.
Right.
Then I saw some emails come out from his organization. I'm going to say Floyd. He
Who
has
just
number
lost
one-
Tank.
He didn't lose him yet. He still has Tank. As of this taping, he still has the biggest pay-per-view star. Oscar doesn't have a pay-per-view star anymore because he lost Canelo.
Carmen, I'm going to say Oscar with Floyd really catching up. I think Oscar's kind of going this way, Floyd's going that way.
Oscar losing fighters left
Although
and right.
I'll tell you, Jones is trying hard. Hatton, I don't know a whole lot about him. And Floyd, yeah, but I think that I think Oscar. Okay, all three. DJ from Orlando. Do you think there should be a belt for boxing's best pay for pound? Like a guy he's introduced,
Yes,
boxing's best pound
yes,
for pound.
Yes.
No, too many belts. Pound for pound is an imaginary list. All three of us up here have different qualifications for pound
Who's
for
going to
pound.
judge
No.
it? Exactly.
Who's going to judge it? Too
I
many
think
belts? No.
Too many belts. I think, to me, no offense to them, they're a respected organization. Ring Magazine is enough. That's that's a magazine. They have the belt. They created that. And it's a nice looking belt. I don't think we need a pay-per-view. I'm sorry, pound for pound.
Unless we do the Boxing Authorities belt.
That's
That-
different.
That's a belt that
That's
we can
different.
do.
That's different. Well, all right. As always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.